Hello, everyone! Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Crypto Countdown! Crypto Top 100 Review. Crypto, tastes great. Crypto. I don't know what the hell the name of the show is. Tastes great. Crypto.
Live on YouTube.
I don't know what the hell the name of the show is. Tastes great.
And you get into
that endless loop. Actually, the endless loop would be kind of a funny thing
on YouTube.
I don't know what to have as an intro on YouTube. But just FYI, looks like live. Yeah, it looks like we're rocking and rolling. Turned on the and I don't know. I'm doing this all by myself, Monday to Friday, and then Monday to Sunday, I suppose. I've got Chris here helping me. And he actually turned on the Brother Chicken show. He turned on the monetization, and a couple people were actually giving us a couple tips and stuff. So I thought I'd give it a try here on my own, running the show here. But we'll see what the hell happens. No anticipation of you doing anything at all. Just enjoy the show. And if anything, hopefully it'll make a positive difference in your lives. I see Eddie is rocking in the lounge. Holy moly. Eddie, one of our site members, Eddie from Romania, a great guy. He's actually pretty excited about getting our little old lady thinking about doing another one of these fun challenges. How fast does it take for you to turn $500 into $100,000? And believe it or not, in crypto, that this isn't unrealistic. And actually, the first go round we did this in, I guess it was 2014 to 2017, which is about 2.5 years. I mean, that was this model. And actually, the ending number was up around $700,000 or $800,000 by the end of that cycle, which was just fantastic. Then last cycle, of course, we had all the DeFi craziness, and Jesus, Fjord was I've actually witnessed a guy watch $1 million go down the drain. I've never seen that before in first person, but we've seen it now. So. But the point here is, of course, there was lots of money to be made on the upside through the DeFi market. I didn't really participate too much through that cycle, but it was there. I mean, I remember we had one guy on the site. He started his name as Farmer Dave, of course, because we were all little old ladies, nanny nibbles, farming our crypto and all that. But it got so insane, he actually changed his name to Astronaut Dave because, of course, everything went to the man. And, man, he was just making ridiculous amounts of money. So, the point, in fact, actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think Fjord even bought himself a house with some DeFi profits. I know guys like Colin from Hero is an old-time site member. And TRI alumni. In fact, actually, we're probably going to have Colin on the call. On the daily brief calls here coming up here relatively soon as well. He said he wouldn't mind coming in and chatting a little bit with TRIers on a regular basis, and probably any TRI OGs. This is actually the time where we actually should start seriously thinking about getting serious about making money in crypto. Which is so ironic, right? Because it's the exact opposite. The public is absolutely destroyed. The public is bitter. The public's probably going to be launching lawsuits right, left, and center over the next year or so to all the fraudsters in this space. I might make the argument that actually this is probably the absolute most opportune time to start getting your plan, especially like little old lady nanny nibbles kind of thing. And like I said there a moment ago, Eddie, our Romanian awesomeness, is wanting to sort of quarterback or lead the little old lady charge this cycle. And there's no reason why each and every one of us can't do this. In fact, you should be able to make all the money you need. The only issue is you have to wait for the cycle to bottom. You have to wait for everything to line up. And then once it aligns, oh boy, look out. In fact, actually, I had put out a a couple tweets to that effect. You know, this game of investing in Bitcoin is actually relatively simple. You just got to buy when you're supposed to buy and sell when you're supposed to sell. And if you just follow the rules, you do great. But anyway, obviously easier said than done. So, as I said there a moment ago, saw Eddie posting a whole bunch of charts. He's super jazzed. And he's in there accumulating, which you really should be doing. You know, just try and find those weekly W's. And if anything, the TRI crypto dashboard, now that we've set this up for our site members, it's screaming pay attention in crypto. I mean, it's a long time since I've seen the market actually look like this, 5s and 6s. And, of course, these names are popping all over the place. So there's your backdrop. I don't know whether we're exactly at the bottom yet or not, but I definitely think if you're like little old lady type person and you're just accumulating, you got to get to work now. And actually, probably a bunch of names that we'll look at today. A few names that I picked up over the past month or two. Play both the long side and the short side in the market. So, you know, obviously if the market's moving up in earnest, the longs are killing it. And hopefully you're covering your shorts. So, and actually not also. Let's, before I get too far into my rants here, let's reach out to our co-host. Ben, unfortunately, is away again, family out of town. He said he might be able to pop in if he can sneak away from family obligations here through tonight. If he can, he's actually got a fun little study for us to check out on Litecoin halvening, which is actually not a bad sort of fundamental driver for us to sort of keep an eye on going forward here in the relatively near term. And if he can't make it tonight, then we'll probably check in with that study when he can join us, because I would love for him to be able to explain his logic. But some really cool stuff Ben's been working on. And then, of course, we have another Romanian. Jeez, these Romanians are all over the place. Paul, the Romanian beat cop turned mega hedge fund manager trader. How you doing then? Do we have Paul? Paul, are you with us here this morning?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. Paul,
I'm just a stupid trader, no fund manager, no nothing.
Oh, come on. He's got his community's now going to take over Twitter. He's
Discord, not Twitter.
Twitter, Discord, the whole damn thing. I heard Wall Street they're sending like envoys to Romania to track Paul down, so if they can throw bucket loads of money at him to manage or something like that. Anyway, how are you today, sir?
I'm just looking at the charts.
I don't think Paul will ever tell us how he actually feels. Whenever I ask Paul how he's doing, it's always, well, I'm looking at the charts. Okay. Does that mean you're feeling good, or does that mean you're feeling bad?
Yeah, definitely. If I'm not okay, I will not look at the charts.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. So that makes sense. So we're looking at the charts. That means we're feeling good.
Yep.
All right.
I'm not trading when I'm tired. I'm not trading when I'm not okay with focusing on charts and setups.
All right. Well, that's good. Okay. Well, anyway, and this is basically the beginning of your day. So good morning to you, sir. We'll look forward to your awesome report. It's so consistent, so clean. I think a lot of people really like your report and your approach to the market. It's nice. Like I said, it's nice and clean and straightforward. And
everyone involved in trading and investing should have something like that.
Yeah. So you could argue that your newsletter report is technically your journal.
Yeah, and it's just a way to zoom out and see the market. Every Sunday I do that to prepare myself for the next week.
Yeah, it's pretty smart stuff. Hello, YouTubers. Looks like we got a bunch of people over there. So, hello, John and the Matador and Garrett and Nick and Cole and Eddie and Lee and Adam. Adam, your I noticed that Filecoin sure is looking compelling. I think I got to get back into your Filecoin. I don't know why I call it your Filecoin, but I was in it. I hopped off. It was looking a little shaky, but geez, it sure is looking good again. Maybe we'll get to that. Paul and Sjord need their own weekly show called Smoke and a Pancake. That's a good one. I like that. Smoke and a pancake? Yeah, that would be funny. Although I think
I guess the pancakes, they are not for me.
No. You're the smoke guy. No doubt about it. Sjord's the pancake guy. All right. So, Paul's with us. I'll probably do like maybe a little 20-minute, half-hour overview of what I'm seeing with the corn and any sort of, new developments. Then we'll pop on over and look at and listen to Paul's presentation. So if you want to sneak out and grab your coffee and smoke now, totally cool. And maybe just give me in the little chat box, hey, I'm back, and we can jump into your report if you'd like. I suppose, in a weird sort of way, sort of circling back to what I was saying there earlier, the irony of this silly game, because this Bitcoin thing is very algorithmic, and it's just basically computer programs. On balance, if you don't get sucked into the minutia of the day-to-day fluctuations, this space is actually stunningly predictable. I put this message out, I don't know, a few days ago. Seems to have been pretty well received. But I tell you, folks, I mean, the irony of all of this is that if you can forego your sort of enjoyment for today, and start putting your money into the market, and if it means especially in this unregulated crypto space, that you literally go and buy some tokens or coins or whatever it is that you're buying, and take them right off of the exchanges, put them on some sort of cold storage wall. In fact, Sjord and his Tuesday report was reminding everybody about ledgers and nanos and all that kind of fun stuff, which probably, if you are a crypto enthusiast, is a pretty good idea. I think you can do very, very well in this space. I mean, like seriously well, to the point where, kind of life-changing events. I mean, there's enough price volatility in this space that you can really you can do some damage. Unfortunately, actually, we're in this part of the cycle right now where we have to deal with the people that every cycle there will be new millionaires, and I suppose now billionaires, and I suppose down the road maybe even trillionaires made. When you get into these markets that move one directional, and they move like 20x, one directional. In fact, actually, this one was the low there was about $150, and it topped out at 20,000. I don't know how many X's that is. This low was about 3,500. That top was 60,000, so that was a good 20x. And actually, this part, this was of course, Mount Gox Silk Road reversal was right there. God, I don't even know how many X's that was, but it's several, maybe 100x. You get this sort of one-directional move, and it's because of the algorithmic nature and the halvening event sort of cycle pivots. For Bitcoin, if you can be like a project manager and almost think of like project managers and developers as like surfers, and if you can, the one developer guy that I used to chat with, the Coinigy shows years ago that we did. In fact, actually, if you are part of the TRI website, even if you're part of the public, but TRI website in a library, we actually have all the links to the old shows. But we used to have some tutorials and stuff that we did with Coinigy. Actually, some of these tutorials have gotten quite a few hits, like hundreds of thousands of hits. So a lot of people actually find TRI through this. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. We still have the old TRI.co website address. We're now .com. But anyway, the point being here that we used to, long history. There's Alex right there. So this was one of my old apartments that he was in locally here in Vancouver. And there's Will. He was one of the main boys at Coinigy. In fact, actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think they had a big Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal at Coinigy. I hope you were able to take advantage of that if you're still interested. But, God, we've been doing these shows. So anyway, so Alex is one of these kind of developer guys. And he used to call this part of the cycle the developer cycle. Developer part of the cycle. So if you, are in the developer sort of stream and you can get your poop together, I mean, the irony of it all is that you can even swear like a sailor. I remember there was that guy, Danny. Holy moly, that guy swore every second word out of his mouth. And just ride that wave. You can literally, ride the wave to fame and fortune. So here we are, folks. You can see the beginning of 2023. 2022 was a correction year, very much like 18, very much like 14. Thank heavens we're almost out of this, eh? What a headache. And of course, when I'm running one of these kind of advisory, sort of educational websites, at the very top of the cycles, it's almost impossible to talk logic to people. So if anything, we're back into a part of the cycle where we can talk logically. What we really should be doing is we should be all collectively, especially the people who watch this show and are site members, part of our community, we should be really researching who the next big stories are. And I guarantee you, through this coming cycle, and the interesting thing is we can see exactly when the cycle ends. So we already know the future. My hunch is 2023 is probably going to be a hurry up and do nothing kind of year. But ironically enough, it's through the hurry up and do nothing years that's actually when you're supposed to really start investing and planning and getting part of development teams and projects and stuff going to take advantage of the next bull cycle. So it's coming. Opportunity is now here. I don't know whether you'll be able to take advantage of it or not, but here it is. We are now into the window. So that's encouraging. As I said, next week, this was Ben's contribution in the most recent our fun little app here. I swear, this is such a cool little resource. I would do yourself a favor and grab it. But our app aficionado, Ben, this was one of his most recent additions. This is that same image, just in a little cleaner format. So you can see where we are, and of course getting ready for the next cycle. So, here we are, bottom of the market. So ironically enough, I would expect we're probably going to be relatively quiet. The site should be relatively quiet. School programs should be relatively quiet. And the irony of it all is that basically, for people who are familiar with this is I used to run a commodity trading advisory service when I was a commodities broker. And you just simply, I never have that image handy, which is kind of an irritant. I really should. Let's see if I can quickly find it here for you. There it is. So the simple idea of commodity trading is you want to try and no, interesting. What do we got here? Where's the menu? How do you get the menu on this thing? Hey, there it is. Okay, so we'll go 200%. There we are. So you want to ideally try and focus in on the markets when they're down at the bottom end of ranges. And of course, I mean, this is so funny. You can't give stuff away in the market. This is the only business when stuff goes on sale, nobody wants to buy. This is when you want to start buying, right? Waiting for buy signals. So I like to use a really simple relationship. Where is price relative to where it's been over the past year? WD Gann would just simply say, take the past 365 days, divide that by 2, and probably the odds are some point over the next half year, 6 months, we'll probably trade back to the mean, or basically the 50% level. We can use things like moving average relationships to help us see the turns when the actual market is starting to trend back the other direction. Either we're way overbought and we're starting to trend down. You better watch out in those kind of environments. And right now we're starting to get some signals like within the energy market that might be the case. And of course we're getting tons of signals in crypto, all over the place in crypto. And even a few of the tech stocks that we happen to follow in the Dow. We follow the Dow. In fact, I probably should add the NASDAQ 100 to this weekly commodity trend survey overview. And we'd probably see a ton of tech stocks. Like, I can imagine Facebook and stuff. It all is down near the bottom end of its range. So the point here is we want to ideally focus in when assets are really dirt cheap and when they're starting to turn back up. And this scoring system, the way that I built this, and it's not really rocket science, it's, if anything, maybe a little bit fudged, but really, really low scores like 1s and 2s are like, uh-oh, you better be careful, sell signals. And then conversely, 5s and 6s are, hey, we're getting bullish action, you better pay attention if you want to be a buyer. And this is it. This is a very contrarian way of looking at investing. Very different than what the public is used to. The public, sadly, to be perfectly blunt, the public comes in and buys tops of markets. And like guys like that German guy, he is just shilling crypto like crazy and making a lot of money, sucking all these people into the market to buy his, his services and use referral codes, and who cares about technical analysis. Everybody in the public wants to buy, so he just gives them the opportunity to buy, and of course they just throw bags of money at them. Is that such a good investment decision? I don't know, and that's half my problem, is that as the market's pumping up here, I don't participate in this shill. And if anything, what I say is you better cool your jets and you better leave the market alone, because at some point we are going to correct. And in fact, somebody even made reference over there on YouTube. When we do start going stupid like this, Brian threatens to change his name to Sedona Euphoria. Because actually we did a pretty good trade on Doge that last cycle. I took about 50, 60 G's out of the market up top there. Unfortunately Brian's a contrarian. So it's weird. It's like I shoot myself in the foot as we're moving up, but at the same time too, the good part about it is I don't have to worry about lawsuits, because instead of a whole bunch of angry coin holders, shareholders and stuff coming and bitching about them losing money through these bear cycles and threatening to sue, which is what usually happens. Actually, we got a lot of people that are like, whew, thanks Brian. Yeah, I know there's not that many people on the site, but the people that did listen to you and that sort of, kept their money in their pockets and didn't go spend it blindly, they're very, very thankful when we go through these kind of corrections. So, anyway, point of the matter here is, and, the proof of the pudding's in the data. I do find it interesting that psychologically, I've been having a very hard time buying into the bull run recently. And yet the irony of it all is if you actually look at the charts, and especially a lot of these altcoins, not so much Bitcoin, not so much the total market cap, but a lot of these little altcoins, these guys over here, geez, they're starting to look really uppy. So like this sushi, this has been kind of a fun little trade. But anyway, back at our entry level here after carving out a massive W there. I mean, maybe we've gone a little too far, too fast in the short term. We could use some consolidation. But gee whiz, W's. You know what Brian thinks of them W's. And then also two things like this Matic. Gee whiz, there he goes again. Nice big fat W. Oh boy. These are looking uppy. It's not looking as meltdown in the market as it was. I think I made reference to Filecoin earlier, and I actually took a shot off of this level. It broke, and I've been watching it, humming and hawing. Can it actually W out here? And I might even go and buy some of these back that I walked away from a little while ago. So, interesting market. And what's fascinating, like the stock market today, for example, it just, Mr. Powell came out and said, man, we're feeling pretty good about getting in front of this inflation problem. And literally the moment that he said that, you can see Powell spoke today, the whole damn market just launched itself higher. So in a weird sort of way, and I think this is a good sort of anecdote to what we do. We have, a blog that we publish, and we've been watching, of course, the S&P 500 anticipated returns given election years. And you can see the market was fairly uppy into the end of the year. So we've been sort of looking for an uppy end to 2022. As well, too, other market participants that I like to follow, a gentleman by the name of Larry Williams. I think his name's Larry. Can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, latest reports kind of suggesting that, into the end of the year, market looks like it's relatively uppy. This is a report that actually we've been following through the entire year. What's fascinating is basically the whole stock market was down right into mid-year and has pivoted and is heading up here into the end of the year. So our roadmaps have actually been very, very helpful. And I'll tell you, this rally into the end of the year here, it's been very hard to see. And this is one of the main reasons why I really like using algorithms and scripts and stuff to help us see the sort of broader market picture. In a weird sort of way, our computer modeling and all that actually told us, hey, you should probably expect some sort of rally in the stock market. And gee whiz, this damn Dow is just taking off like a rocket here. A little worried about us getting maybe a bit overbought here. If anything, probably today is a really good analogy that, for guys who are day trading, we used to have a rule that if we had any sort of big sort of fundamental unknown, and, Chair Powell coming out and doing his Brookings Institute interview was, I think, a big unknown. How is that? How is the market going to react into that? And gee whiz, like I said, the market just took off like a rocket. I'm a little leery about getting too bullish about the stock market up in here. I think, the turn was back there in the middle of September, October, and hopefully we can get our scrolling function back on the breadth indicator here soon so we can scroll back and show you that. I suppose right now the one thing that I was really worried about the other day was the bond market and interest rates. Were flashing major warning signs that they were getting overbought. But, just like I said there a moment ago, Mr. Powell came along and literally the bond market also exploded higher on his comments that he thought inflation was well in check. And so recent short setups that I had working in the bond market got blasted out there. So that actually surprised me a little bit, but it's a really good analogy that sometimes Fed officials can come along and just say something and the whole damn market just pivots. So, with an uppy bond market, and a very uppy stock market, I don't know whether I really want to be too bearish heading into the end of the year. I suppose coming back sort of full circle, because this is a crypto show, so we probably want to just sort of stick with crypto. I put this message out a week or so ago that I wouldn't be surprised if we actually go through a period where the professionals are just going to sort of feast on the amateurs. Keep in mind, this is not an easy game to trade and invest and speculate through bear markets. They usually say in bull markets, everybody makes money. And I often suggest people that, once the bull market's done, go and do something else. Take up a hobby. Because, day trading, flipping stuff on lower time frames is a lot of fun. So, interestingly enough, in this sort of bear market scenario, how does Brian keep himself busy? I'm doing silly things like day trading futures contracts in here. So, interestingly enough, I had a short setup heading into that event. It actually hit my profit objective. That was down here. And then the market just launched itself higher. So if anything, what a good example. And if you don't know this, write this down. But if you are coming to the market to risk money, and then you know that a big Fed announcement's coming up here, and it wasn't even really a Fed announcement, it was just a sort of a one-on-one with Mr. Powell at the Brookings Institute. And he basically said, it looks like, we're getting in front of this inflation problem, and the stock market just loved hearing that, and it just took off like a rocket. So this is sort of how I keep myself busy, day trading, cute little flipping futures contracts through the day. But make no mistake about it. Like I had swing trading setups working on Bitcoin. Actually, I think I still have that on the screen. But I was politely told to get out at scratch there. I guess maybe middle of last week or so. So I haven't really been doing a heck of a lot of trading Bitcoins in here. Trying to find which chart I have this on. I think I have it written up here. No, anyway, I don't. But something along the lines of, I think this was it. Bot setup, so 33 and 66. Just for simplicity's sake, we'll just do that over there and then there. And that's backwards, of course. So I was riding shorts here. I guess I had a smaller one. This is too big. In fact, actually, if you were in this short setup, not really much has changed. I think maybe I had this one going. There to there. There to there. And then we'll put bot levels. And let's flip that around. All right, so in this particular case, we had a breakdown, was short the corn. We had moved stop to break-even level hit. Market came back up to that break-even level, so I hopped off at scratch. That was basically this setup. There is the move stop to scratch level, and then the market came back up and stopped me out. So at scratch, I'm fine with that. It's no big deal. So, the short trade is getting a little bit long in the tooth. If anything, and I think Paul will probably speak to this when I'm sort of done here, kind of heading back up to the top end of the range. So I don't know whether this is really the best place to come in on the long side. I suppose you could argue, I was thinking lower. It didn't pan out. It's just the way it goes. But I suppose you could argue that if we just did a simple, in this particular case, we'll say top end of the trading range, bottom end of the trading range. So if we come back down into the bottom end of the range, then hunting longs here is not such a bad idea. I think Paul will even talk to you about longs he took there. Problem is, can you come in on the long side up top there? It's a little bit tough. If we maybe even just go there to there, you can see we're actually coming up into top end reload short zones. So Bitcoin's at kind of a funny, trapped in a range. That's basically what I was speaking to this total market index. You can see, I think what's happening here is a lot of liquidity hunts. So they had this key low here. Market went through that key low very briefly. And I remember Paul even said that he had to sort of talk to his community and just calm them down a little bit. Turns out that was the bottom end of the range, started to work its way back up. And I think they're probably going to do the same thing against this high as well. So, the bigger picture, this is tricky stuff in here, folks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is, if you are a lower time frame trader, just go slowly. Be careful here. Understand that probably the liquidity hunts kind of stuff is the theme of the day. I personally espouse, I like the idea of hunting setups and trading setups. So, live by the sword, die by the sword. If setups fail, then I'll walk away. But I'm not adverse that if they do start firming back up, I'll come back in on the long side. But make no mistake about it. This isn't sort of for the faint of heart kind of stuff. This is up and down like a horror's drawers, as they say. So, at the bottom, it's always choppiest, and understand that even just in these windows, you can have some insane price volatility here. But if you can think bigger picture, and this is my sort of reference to guys like Eddie, if you just look at these names, like if you could just like this Filecoin here, I think this is probably a really good example. Where if you can just sort of, look at this thing. Has it got any room to move up? You can't even see the price action down here. Should I just go and nibble away? And then when we actually start climbing the wall of worry again, there'll be some easy fruit to pick? I think so. So, as I had said before, I really do like the idea of us getting that Nanny Nibbles, little old lady portfolio up and running. The thing with that, of course, is just understand that, this is here we are, end of 2022, 2023. Little old ladies are going to be buying their Lambos and stuff into the end of 2025. So if you can think of that kind of time frame, then I think there's some serious money to be made. But take the next, 6 months, 8 months to start nibbling away here. You don't need to go and buy everything right now. And in fact, I would even say that's probably a little foolish, because probably first, second quarter of the new year, there's probably going to be some fireworks. So anyway, enjoy the rally into the end of the year. Dead cat bounce, Santa Claus rally. Interesting how Bitcoin always loves to have some fireworks around Christmas, and the Chinese, the way that they screw with the Western kids around Christmas. So just be aware of that. And if anything, let's start thinking about what does the bottom look like over the next 6-8 months. So, all right, I think that's sort of my 64,000 foot overview. Like I said, this weekly commodity trend survey, I think, is such a fantastic, simple, clean look at the market. We are very, very cheap, and stuff is starting to turn back up here. And if you can start nibbling away on sixes, I think on balance, you'll probably be very rewarded down the road. So, all right, so having said that, let's see. Paul, are you back from your cigarette and coffee?
Yep.
Well, you sound like you're a million miles away, so he's probably on the other side of his house.
No, I'm just at my computer.
There he is.
Yep.
All right, so would you like to walk us through your weekly newsletter offering?
Yep.
All right.
One second.
I'll stop screen sharing for now, and we will throw Paul's offering up on the screen. There it is. We can put Brian's mug away. And let's maximize the window. Now the question is, what are we sharing? So over on OBS, let's pop on over to the Hangout page. Where's the Hangout page? Is it that one? Yep, there we go. Okay, we'll hit the max screen button. Hopefully this is the right one. Yay! I'll put myself on mute, so tell these good people what it is that you're seeing in the market. Go.
So, I don't know, on weekly chart, weekly report, I have the results from last week. 70 trades, 10 wins, 3 losses, 4 scratches, a nice 10% profit. Was a nice week. Nice profit, 10% a week. It's nice for my part. I'm okay with that. Keep in mind, these are only the trades we post before the entry. On a very long time frame, like I like to see the market first. On 12 months, I see 14K like a really important level. I don't think we'll escape touching that in the long run. Yeah, now we have a bounce, but I'm still paying attention at this level. I'll be more than happy to invest below 14K in Bitcoin and Ethereum and other altcoins. If I'll see Bitcoin below 14K, between 14 and 10K could be a nice window where I want to invest my money. On the weekly chart, at the moment I made this report, we had the 16.5 level. We didn't see any, and still we don't have any W on weekly chart. So I prefer to take it level by level. I'll go on lower time frames and try to hunt some setups. I still don't see a clear situation now. Until I'll see a clear W on weekly chart, we are still in the bear market. Like I said, I was expecting some starting to some bullishness in the market. You'll see on daily chart. So on daily chart, you can see lower lows on the price action. I don't see at that moment, we don't have any W, but as you can see on the indicators, we had some bullishness in the market. The price was a bit bullish than you see on the screen. So we had a bullish divergence on RSI. We had some bullish divergence on MACD, even some bullish divergence on OBV. When I see a bullish divergence in OBV, I try to pay attention because it's a powerful signal. And you can see Willy was oversold, so that's another signal for me to think reversal at some point. And indeed, we managed to get a nice bounce on daily chart. On 4-hour chart, at the moment I made this report, I even said it's too early for a short setup and not enough reasons to take a long. I expect a violent move in the market in the next period, and we had that. Not too much, but enough to put some scalps, some day trading. So we have this range on 4-hour chart, and you can see at that moment we had the first level of house at 16.5 when I made the report. Yeah, we had some bullish divergence in indicators, MACD, RSI, but now if we take a look at the same chart on 4-hour, let me see where I have the chart. So it's the same chart. You can see all we did is just a nice bounce, hit the 4669 house level in the short reload zone from in this range. just touched that and stopped. At this moment for me is not a good moment to hunt along. Yeah, maybe the market will go up, test this week, take some stop losses maybe above this week. A lot of stop losses they are hidden above this week, but not a good level for me to swing trade to hunt along. Now, if I zoom in and I go on lower time frames, I'll wait in the short reload zone to see maybe I could get a short setup. But on 4-hour chart, indeed, I don't see bearish divergence yet. But in the same time, it's not a good level for me to hunt along. For a first sign of to hunt along, for me will be this level. Yeah, so just as simple as that. I'll just put a long reload zone and waiting to see maybe I'll get a mountain man setup. Could be a nice way to frame along. So I said in 4-hour chart, we had at that moment some bullish divergence. So we had the reasons to think higher, but I didn't like the location for a long. Maybe a bot setup, but we didn't had enough retracement for a bot setup. So I prefer to sit out and wait on 4-hour chart and hunt on day trading or scalping. I even said in crypto traders right now we'll focus on day trading until we'll have a clear setup for swing trading. Bitcoin dominance on 4-day chart. Now it just bounced from the long reload zone. We are still at this level. We have 40 point something. We are still in the same long reload zone. We can stay in this area a bit more, but if we'll put a W in the next couple of weeks, if we'll put a W, Bitcoin could take some dominance back. We hit the ABCD objective. We are at the bottom of the range. We have some support in this area. You can see someone stopped the dominance at this level, at this level, at this level, at this level. I could think it's a range now, no? With 4 levels to protect my idea of a range. So I'm thinking maybe we can put in this moment, you can see we can have half of the inverse head and shoulder, something like that. But if we put a W, Bitcoin could take some dominance back. But in the same time, keep in mind it's a 4-day chart, so it will take some time until we'll see if it's a W or not. Ethereum versus Bitcoin on 4-day chart. I said confluence in the top of the range. Couple of short reload zone in this area. I'm still expecting Bitcoin at some point to outperform Ethereum, but seems like now is not the moment. Let's go and see what happens. What is now on the chart? So zoom in just a 4-hour chart. You can see AB equals CD. We still have some room to go up and test to reach the AB equals CD target. And as you can see, AB equals CD just put us in the top of this EM, just retesting this EM pattern, and a small short reload zone. We can go up and do that. I don't see any reasons to think we'll go up in this area. But on the longer time frame, let's just don't forget we are in a short reload zone at the top of the range, and yeah, until the end of the year, maybe we can go exactly at the top of the range. But in medium term, for next year, I'm still expecting Bitcoin to outperform Ethereum. But it's just my opinion. I'll trade setups even if I have a strong opinion. I'll trade only my setups. Total Q, hold the level below reload zone, 3-bar fractal. I don't see, not yet. I don't see any reversal. I need a clear W at this line. at 2017 all-time highs. If I'll see a clear W, I could think long. If I'll bounce straight to retest this DCM, no, I'm waiting for a clear W, for a clear structure in the market, so I could say, yeah, we can go up and retest the highs. The news for this week, so we had most of them. We still have tomorrow. We have unemployment rate, personal spendings, personal income, PMI, and Friday we have unemployment rate and non-farm payrolls. We have some news, so we can get some volatility for this week, for the rest of the week. With the Fed Powell speaking last night, you saw what happened. I'm trying to keep everyone, even from my group, from my community, I'm trying to keep them out of the market in the close to the report. But some guys, they don't listen. Sometimes they'll get a nice trade and they'll be really happy. But I'll keep my opinion. It's best to sit out when you have some fundamental events like that. You can make some profit one time, the second time, the third time, and you need only once to miss your stop loss and just broke your account with when you'll get in the wrong direction with a big position for scalping and you'll get a big volatility, you can lose even 50-60% from your account. So I prefer to wait on the sidelines and hunt after the news. After the news, I could find a nice setup. So altcoins, I said, in my opinion, it's best now to wait for at least for a 3-step setup. So if you have location, and we have that, and most of the altcoins we have that. We have reload zone or below reload zone. Yeah, indicator confirmation. We have on some of them we have a clear bullish divergence. Let's wait for a clear price structure for at least 1 day W to hunt along. Yeah, if you are a swing trader, yeah, you can go even on 4-hour chart and hunt along. But for most of the people, it's best to wait a daily W. Just my 2 cents. Even 4-hour chart for some people is not suited for them. If you have a job, if you don't have time to look at the charts, it's best. Coins, I didn't put too much. Sunday was a bit
Hey, Paul,
different market than now.
can you
So
hear me?
yeah,
Paul,
yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah.
Looks like my internet, the network cut out there for a minute. So can you just back up about 2 minutes? And the last thing I heard you, if you could just scroll up a little bit, I think I didn't want to cut off there. Like I said, just if you could just back up a minute or two, the network just went out there just momentarily.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we talked about total 2 below reload zone.
Yeah. We talked about
Testing
the econs and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So testing the support levels.
Yeah.
I still need a clear W in this area. I love to see this level hold at this moment, but I still need a clear W. So the news I said about the Powell speech, I try to keep everyone out from the market.
We heard all that. Totally awesome. That was just perfect. It was just like the last 30 seconds of what you were saying cut out there. That's all.
Yeah. So for the market state, I said location, we have that below reload zone. Indicator confirmation, we have on most of altcoins, we have bullish divergence. Let's wait for a clear structure in the 1-day chart.
Yep.
Even for our chart, it's a bit too fast for some people. So if you have a job, if you have something else to do, you're not like me every moment in the market, it's best to wait for a clear W on daily chart. Best for investing is a weekly W, but even a daily W is good enough for a trade. So ideas, I only put a couple of them. Sunday, when I made this report, the market was not looking so happy like now, but I still liked some charts. AVAX on 12-hour chart, wait for an LJ for a W at this level. We didn't manage to get, I had a stop limit order, but I didn't manage to get at this level. The market broke down, and now we're forming another W. Let's see if I see I find the chart. 1 second, please. AVAX. Let's put 12 hours. Something like that. So you can see bullish divergence in RSI, MACD. I speak about this level. We didn't manage to get at this level. We broke down, but we put another W, just touch the long reload zone, another W. If we'll break from this range, we'll form a bigger W. Maybe it's a good idea to wait for a breakout and hunt for a retest for a long. At this moment, it's a bit difficult for me to say, yeah, I want to long at this level. I want a clear confirmation. So even if I'll buy a bit higher, I want a breakout and then a retest. Then I could put a long setup. On link, I said something like on these lines, a nice retracement and pump chaser zone. And then maybe you can hunt along. If you take a look now at link, you can see we have had something on what I was thinking. Let's put 4-hour chart. But we didn't get a W in the pump chaser zone. So if you are quick enough to go on lower time frame, to hunt on lower time frames along, maybe you can have a chance to get this one. I missed this trade. I was waiting for a clear W on the pump chaser zone. Market just goes and tests the 38.2 level, puts a W above the 38.2 and then back up. Now it's almost AB equals CD. It's almost complete. We can too close to the short reload zone for me to think long on this one. So I'll wait for another signal. I'll put maybe a long pump chaser zone from the entire range and hunt another level. It's too late for me to think long, and it's early for a short. So I'll just sit out and wait. And we had the KNC on a daily time frame. I said 1% risk. Let's see what we have now. Let's see if I have KNC. Let's put daily. As you can see, we are on a bit of profit. I was hunting this big W, and we managed to get a nice entry. We have 2.7 risk to reward until we'll test this level, but that doesn't mean the market cannot go up until the short reload zone. You can see the breakout point even in the middle of the short reload zone. But let's don't be greedy. Let's just wait. Get 1-to-1, maybe 2-to-1, close half of the position, move your stop to scratch. I don't need to make all the money in the world today or next week. I could manage to take some profit off, put my stop to scratch. If I'll get more than that, it's okay for me. If I'll even get a 2-to-1 and I'll be forced to close my trade, 2-to-1 is good enough. If I have a win rate of 50% and a risk reward of 2, it's good enough. I'm profitable, so it's okay from my part. I'll go 4-hour time frame. Let's see what we have now. This one, I guess I'll took it on 4-hour chart. Yeah, just give us an entry, and we're just a bit below the entry. Nothing to do at this point. Let's just wait and see what happens. I'll be stopped out. My stop is at the original place. If I'll be stopped out, so be it. Next bus. If I'll take some profit, it's even better. I'm hunting only only 38.2 on this trade. So a bounce to 38.2 will get me, I don't know, 2.5 risk to reward. That doesn't mean the market cannot go up at least to retest this level, a 50% level. But let's see if we'll get this level, maybe close partially the position and move the stop to scratch, or even trailing the stop loss. Now we are just below the entry. It's still in this. You can see this is a range. Let me see something like that. You can see this is a range. We didn't break out yet, so let's wait and see what happens. Now a lot of altcoins they look a bit better than when I made this report. So trading condition for me, they are still in the hard mode. Maybe on some altcoins you can hunt on swing trading, you can hunt some W's, but still hard mode. I think you are not in easy mode yet. At the end, you know what I like to say. Treat trading like a business, and market will treat you like a king. But you have to treat trading like a business. Don't put your emotion in the market. Uh, work your plan. Trade your setups. Don't trade your opinions. Only trade your setups. Trade level by level. You can see a lot of people now. If you take a look at Twitter now, a lot of people become bullish at this point. Yeah, we'll break out. We'll go to the moon. We'll go to 20K. We'll go to 25K. I don't like to think like that. I see this range. It's a clear range. Let's see what happens. Yeah, if I'll see a nice breakout from this range and then a retest, yeah, I could hunt along. But I prefer to go on lower time frames and hunt a day trade, or maybe even a scalp on a 3 minute chart, 5 minute, 50 minute chart, than to force a trade where I don't find a clear setup. Yeah, on scalping every day we have longs and shorts. As you can see at the beginning of the newsletter, we had last week we had 70 trades posted before the entry. Usually we do a live stream and we take trades in the live stream, or we plan the trade in the live stream. So if I see a nice level, if I see a possible setup, I will plan the trade. If I'll get to this level and I see that and that, I'll put a long or a short. But on swing trading, let's take a look at some altcoins I have on my watch list. Maybe we can find something interesting. I have 4 hour chart. So on this one, it's a bit late for me. Nothing to do at this point. I was hunting on this level. You can see the support in this area, but I didn't get a clear a clear double in this zone. So I missed this one. Now on Litecoin, we are in short reload zone. Nothing to do for me. I don't think it's something I could do in this area. Yeah, I could see an AB equals CD, but even for a bot setup, I need three higher lows and a clear entry for a bot setup. I don't have that, not at least not yet. This one, this one looking nice, putting a nice W exactly in the long reload zone. Has a breakout, trying to retest the W. Let's see indicators. I don't see too much on the indicators, not at least not on this time frame. But we have the location, we have the breakout, maybe a nice retest, maybe even lower to the retest this W. You can put a 4 hour swing trade. Solana, I don't want to see this one. I don't know. With all the news, I prefer to hunt on other altcoins. They are better charts than this one. Yeah, it's cheap. Yeah, if we'll recover, but until we recover, let's play something else. Uh, Personally, I'll stay away from Solana from some time. Yeah, I have some limit orders at $5 and $4, but for investing. But uh, in swing trading, and usually I prefer to avoid this one because it's ugly to trade. I talked about AVAX, Link. This one is higher now, puts a W, but it's too high for me. And I didn't get a clear W. How I wanted a clear W in a long reload zone. Yeah, I had a W, but for me the best level was this one, 78.6. If I'll get on smaller time frame, maybe a clear W at the 78.6, that will get me interested in a long trade on this one. Usually after a pump and dump like this, it's best to sit out and wait. You can see the pump, you can see the dump. The best thing you can do is just to wait, usually. That doesn't mean that this one cannot go higher and retest the top of the week. Secret, you can see the big reload zone, you can see the small reload zone. Yeah, we have some location, and you can see we have a small W. So who wants to hunt something on this one? You can see the small W in this area. So we have location, we have the W. I don't see bullish divergence. Because of this move up, broke the indicators. I don't see anything clear on this one. We have to wait a bit. I like the OBV. You can see the OBV is going higher. I like the OBV. It's a nice OBV on a 4-hour chart. So if you want, you can hunt this W. E-gold. Let's zoom out a little bit. On E-gold, yeah, we have location. And if I wrote in the past, this is a nice level to hunt a long swing trade. Yeah, maybe we have a W, we have another one, but I prefer to see this level breaking out from this big W on higher time frames, a breakout, and then a retest. Then I could hunt on this one. Had some news, I don't know, last month, and now just need some ranging, some accumulation until we'll be able to go back up. Just my 2 cents about this one. We spoke about KNC, Ripple. On Ripple, I see a range, and I'm just watching the market, but I'm not interested to buy at this level. If I will get a long reload zone, a clear W in this area, yeah. But now, no. I saw some news about Ripple, some good, some bad, but I'll play what I see on the chart usually. So I see this range. Even if you'll get a breakout, it's too high for me to hunt for a long. And Doge, let's take a look at Doge. Same idea. AB equals CD. It's a bit late for me to think long. You can see the resistance level. Yeah, we can put AB equals CD, but I'll prefer to play a bot on this one. If you'll go lower and puts 3 higher lows, yeah, I could play a bot on 4-hour chart. Now it's a bit early for a short, and it's too late for a long for me. That's it from my part. Just my 2 cents. I try to keep to see the market simple without any. The simple, the better for me. So you know me, I'll play 3-step setup. I'll play LJ setup. I'll play the bot setup, Mountain Man. So nothing fancy, only clear setups with clear rules. So I'm in that way I'm able to execute really well on the market. If it's too complicated, too many rules I have to respect, then it's too hard to execute to hit the damn level when the times comes to enter the trade. So I prefer to use simple things, work for me. So that's it from my part, Brian. So if you
Sounds like a fantastic Paul report. Actually, you know what? Somebody, an OG I haven't seen on the site in a while, although he did send me a message recently. He thinks that we're back in this time. So if you can remember this song, then you know what kind of market we're in.
It's the coin market cap. Oh, hi! So, do you want to trade some shit coins? Come on, let's go and play. Open up that wallet now and send those coins away.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
There you go. If you know who that is, then you
I
know
know the
what
song,
kind of
but I
market
don't
we're
know
in.
who. I know the song,
Yeah?
but I don't know from what, from where.
That was that before your time in crypto? It might have been a bit before your time. But
Yeah, well, I'm watching crypto before 2017, but I entered the market in 2018, but I was watching crypto before 2017.
Anyway, that was what was his name? Like Frankenstein or something like that? Yeah,
We can be best buddies.
what was his name? Fristinken. Try to say
I
that's
know.
it 10 times fast. Anyway, so great to see you, James. I don't know whether you're watching the show, James, but awesome to see you on the lounge. And I have to say, the cool thing is we literally have people in this market that have been in it for generations. Like this is, I think I showed you there that that Bitcoin cycle. This is technically like the third or fourth generation now in crypto. So great to see people popping in and saying hello again. So that's kind of cool. You can see there, Paul, he's already out hunting new ideas.
No, it's just the Bitcoin dominance on 4-hour chart, and I see a W in reload zone. So
Yeah, well, if anything, it's a little scary. And actually, an interesting dovetail to that dominance. I'll steal the screen back now.
yeah,
I don't know whether you follow this study or not. You ever seen this before? This NVT study?
yeah,
This is getting a little bothersome because I remember when this specifically happened back in 2018, and everybody was like, all right, this is a new bull cycle, but the market price just never responded. And you notice, look at the similarity in price action. The price of Bitcoin is this thin teal line that you see here. And you see how it was a thin teal line making lower highs and lower lows. Then notice the NVT study, it turned back up, started to top out, and then when that broke, here comes that final dump leg. And I hate to say it, folks, but I really believe that we are basically right in this window right there.
yeah. Could be an ugly beginning of the next year.
Yeah, so you can see how the
Next
NVT
spring.
study has rolled over. It has broken its moving average. You can see how, Paul even said there a moment ago, right? He's not really too enthusiastic if this thing keeps making lower highs and lower lows. So, yeah. I thought this is just I was searching for this study there last week when I was talking to you guys. I couldn't find the damn chart, so I'm kind of glad that I was able to find that for you. And if anything, they always say if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. I got a funny feeling that this is the same scenario that's playing out here this cycle too. So just be aware of that, folks. I still honestly believe there's one more thumping here that we have to get through before the bottom is in. And if anything, I'd kind of like to hear Paul's sentiment. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, it's absolutely perfect the way he talks to you guys. So it doesn't surprise me that his little advisory service has done really well. It's just so spot on. It's great analysis, Paul. You should be really proud of yourself. You have become a consummate trader, no doubt about it.
I try to keep things really simple. That's my idea.
Yeah,
Let's don't
keep it
play
simple,
level by
stupid.
level. Play your plan. Play your setups. Don't complicate things.
Yeah.
And
So here's an interesting study. I think I made reference to Colin earlier tonight.
yeah, he's the study.
So this is that Bitcoin dominance. So it's interesting that Paul had that chart on his screen there just a moment ago. This was another study that I was searching for the last time I was talking to you guys, and I just couldn't find where the hell I had put it. But in essence, altcoins happy when Bitcoin, relatively speaking, is tanking. Then when Bitcoin starts to outperform, altcoins are unhappy, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. Underperformance by Bitcoin, altcoins happy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if we fast forward to where we are now, and you notice we had altcoins happy, then Bitcoin turned back up, then I think you could actually make the argument that maybe we even broke somewhere there. And interesting how these windows are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. But maybe if we put that over there, I'm getting the feeling that altcoins have been somewhat happy. But gee whiz, is that starting to turn back up? I don't know. That's a tough one. And if it is, then, unfortunately that means, kind of like what Paul was saying, just go slowly, cool your jets. There's no hurry here. If this thing actually does go and W out in earnest, then we'll be thinking about another one of these sort of, crappy seasons for altcoins. Interesting how that double bottom's coming in right off of there. I don't know whether that's enough to declare that we are in sort of risk off when it comes to the alts. But probably if we get a break above that level on the dominance, probably that's your cue that, we will be back into altcoin unhappy mode. And in a weird sort of way, a lot of these altcoins, I think right now, and I think the jury's still out here. I'm not totally convinced one way or the other. But I think that a lot of these alts are just kind of playing catch up. Does Filecoin actually start to kick in here? Or does this M out and continue its trend continuation pattern lower? That's probably an interesting one that you can follow to sort of keep that in mind. Now, it's interesting, in the lounge today we were having a debate as to what you think is happening with the fate of Link in particular. It's interesting how, my average is basically right about middle of the entire range on this thing. So, in a weird sort of way, I do get accused of talking up my book. If I'm long this, then I'm going to be like, well, no, this is a harmonic, man. This is going straight up. That was a descending wedge. That's bullish, right? Blah, 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 right? But I wonder, somebody in the site today, said, Brian, this thing is M'd. It's got to break this M before I can actually start getting bullish. And the rally off of the lows here was off of a new low. So we, by definition, this market should go down and test these lows. If anything, candle body lows for trade location. I had sort of said that I was interested in adding to this position down there. So if this has to roll over and come back down and test these lows, then you might find that plays into sort of that Bitcoin dominance sort of conversation. So I'm not really feeling as though there's a runaway bull. And unfortunately, we're in a really nasty part of the cycle. It doesn't matter whether you look at just Bitcoin itself, and Ben's study, 61.8 to 78.6. Or, like Paul was showing there just a moment ago, is it just simply a function that Bitcoin is making lower highs and lower lows? Right, this is a 4-hour chart, but if we look at a daily chart, until we stop making these lower highs and lower lows, you do have to technically be thinking down. That's on the futures markets as well. So that's sort of what Big Brother is seeing. If anything, might be interesting to check in on what Big Brother thinks about Ethereum down in here. Probably if Ethereum starts puking out and losing these levels, then you'll really see that dominance really kick in. I guess the issue here now, and I still really haven't found it. I see that Great Del Moody guy's over there on the YouTube page. How do you actually come up with what is an intrinsic value for one ETH? Is intrinsic value $1,289 a coin? How do you actually figure that out in this world? Still haven't had anybody explain that to me yet. How do you put a value on POS? POS is, I mean, that's so ironic that they use that term POS. Anyway. So, kind of like what Paul's saying, probably, a half decent trader just simply wants to let this range resolve itself before you start hunting. If, big if, but if we can go in W here, then, wow, great, we got a new bull market. You can hunt Wyckoff checks, you can hunt reload zones, and basically higher highs and higher lows defines a bull market. But probably not a bad idea to maybe just let these W's actually come in. If anything, it's encouraging to see. We got a little smattering of a W here on the Bitcoin futures, but probably not enough to get too excited. Probably also, too, kind of a fun sort of side. What are the options boys and the futures boys thinking here? So, I think I saw that somebody in the lounge had posted that there were some pretty big positions being taken in these Bitcoin futures. So I do find that a bit interesting. Here's the Bitcoin micro. I don't know whether we have the big contract here or not. But just quickly, if we look at the December contract, this option should expire the middle of November. So it's a little bit close, but let's see what we got here. Options. So we're at 17,000. Easy way for you to look at this. You can see this expires at the end of the month, December. Heaviest open interest in the puts usually tells you where the institutional players are actually willing to step up and buy this asset. So if we go side by side, and then that way we can see the calls and the puts. We can see open interest. Geez, not much open interest, not much interest in the open interest here on this particular contract. Maybe a bit thin. I don't know. That doesn't look like. How do we get the, what happens if I just go BTC? Bitcoin, where is the big CME contract, I wonder? ProShares Bitcoin Strategy BETF, that's kind of interesting. $10.70 up 5%. Wow, that's a big move. These are weeklies. I don't know whether we really want to look at that. We're going to look at the monthly. This will give you a pretty good idea what's going on in the stock market side by side. Well, actually here we'll just look at the puts. So heaviest open interest. Wow, look at that. 99,000 contracts on the 10s. So you can see it would probably be in Wall Street's best interest to have this actually close out, and this expires in 15 days, about 2 weeks, to have it go out above $10. You see it's $10.70 right now, up 54. So it was pretty close to that $10 mark. So that's where, let's see, does $10 make sense as a floor? Yeah. So I think the smart money is actually happy to go long this thing around $10. I mean, 99,000 contracts, that's a hell of a lot. So that's 99,000 times 100 shares. So that's 99,000, 900,000, 9.9 million shares at $10, or about $100 million on the line there 2 weeks from now at that $10 level. So is Wall Street pretty serious about a floor maybe being in here into that December expiry? I get the impression. Actually, interesting too, we could probably look at this on a price chart itself, I did see somebody in the lounge there, or on the YouTube page, was mentioning that, hey, that kind of looks, and I saw a few on Paul's charts as well, that this kind of looks like inverted head and shoulders ish. So that's it's awfully tough to see this on this stock proxy. But you can see sort of down, something along these lines. Just gonna fudge it. Anyway, something along those lines. You can see there are these head and shoulders patterns coming into price here. I don't know which one it was that I saw Paul had on his screen. I think it was like XRP or something like that. Obviously that's not the prettiest chart pattern, but there are these sort of inverted head and shoulders-y type patterns. So I wouldn't be surprised if they take this thing out above $10 into that options expiry. $100 million is $100 million. Got a nice momentum base here. You can see they're pushing it up, but you can also see Willie's getting stupidly overbought already. So my hunch is you may maybe even come back and fill in that gap around that $10 level, but I doubt this thing's going to go up below $10. So keep that in mind. I was kind of hoping we could see, we might see it on, I'm a bit surprised why we can't see the damn Bitcoin here. Something doesn't make sense to me. It's got these micro contracts, but where's the big contract? Why are you not on here? There we go. Oh, no, that's the micro. No, I just don't see it. Well, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but let's see. Is there another place we can see this? We might be able to see it over here. Commodities. I thought I saw these guys are falling. There's Bitcoin. All right, I think this is the big boy. There's the December contract sitting about 10.2. These are the options. Open interest on the future. Again, not really that much, but oh, isn't that interesting? Look at that guy way up there. 19,000 strike, 162. I don't know whether that's the calls or the puts, though. What does it say here? 10, 5, 11. Why don't I see where? Calls. All right, so these are the calls. Where are the puts? Puts. There we go. Okay, so this should give you an idea. Wow, look at these open interest numbers. Wow, now that's interesting. So this to me says that Wall Street is more than happy, and actually this would be Whacker Street for the record. They're more than happy to buy Bitcoins below this 18,000 number, right? That's the heaviest open interest there. So that's interesting. Again, I think that's the same sort of vein as that BITO and the $10 strike. So what is this? This thing's, I think, sitting 17 or something, isn't it? Where the hell's the damn price? There it is, yeah. Last 17,065. These things don't expire till the end of the month. But I wouldn't be surprised if into that month end, mysteriously you find that this market is accidentally above that 18,000 number. So not a bad reference to keep an eye on. You can see pretty thick open interest here. These, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is like on a contract of like 5 Bitcoins. This is cash settled though, so just understand it won't be like a delivery of Bitcoins, but it will be basically mark to market. So that 18,000, the rule in options land is whatever the heaviest open interest is on the puts, that's where the institutions have established a floor on the market. So I actually think you'll probably see the market up about $1,000 here into the end of December. Then also too, if we just circle back to our conversation about what's our expectation into the end of the year, this kind of aligns with that same sort of thinking that it looks like the market wants to be up into the end of the year. And then, like I said there a moment ago, you look at good old Chair Powell, and what the hell did he just do to the market? And, he launched the market higher here today. So my hunch is that this is going to have some inertia. And you should see it translate into the Bitcoin price as well. Kind of speaking to Paul's point there about dominance. Interesting how Litecoin was dramatically outperforming there over the past week or so, eh? But notice Bitcoin's breaking out to the upside here. Litecoin is not. So this might be another, and we used to see this in years gone by. The altcoins would outperform. The altcoins, shitcoins, everybody's having fun in that space. Our Finkel buddies.
We can be best buddies, you and me, and watch the price go high.
But I don't think that's the kind of environment that we're in now. It almost looked like Bitcoin's kind of going, excuse me, I'm the main show here. All you shitcoins take a back seat now. It's my turn. That's the impression that I get here. I suppose you could also make the argument that this looks like a bullish ABCD. So if you are looking for short-term upside objectives, this is exactly that same conversation about liquidity hunts against the lows, liquidity hunts against the highs, and oh gee whiz, there's that 18,000 number. So my hunch is they're just going to grind this thing higher. We're technically right now in this funny window. And actually, it surprises me what Chair Powell here did today to the market, because we should actually expect the market to pull back into this beginning of December window. Famous speech by Alan Greenspan back in the 90s sort of typifies this time of year. And if anything, if the stock market takes off like a rocket here, then all of the work that Powell did there over the past year trying to calm inflation expectations down is going to be thrown out the window. So I'm not quite sure what his plan is here, but I get the impression that things are reflating very, very quickly. So, whether it be that options information, the Bitcoin ETF, I don't think it wants to be down at the bottom end of range here. I think Wall Street would be happy if Bitcoin was up top here. Into the end of the year. I'm almost thinking that maybe we've hit a bit of a short-term objective. I think Paul was pointing out like 4.669 is coming up. Maybe we do a bit of consolidation and then one more push up into the end of the year, up against that 18,000 number, because I think that's where they want to take this thing out into the end of the year. So, interesting backdrop there for you. I'd be very concerned once we get through the end of the year into the new year, because number one, if you look back in 2000, this cycle, which is what I think that we're doing right now, I don't know whether you guys ever heard of a guy named Mike Hearn, but he had the famous Mike Hearn rage quit. Price just absolutely dumped. What I'm really worried about is, notice, September, October, November, then we get into December and the market just melts down and we ultimately hit that low there in January. So I still think we got a little bit of shit ahead of us here, folks. Maybe through the, that December options expiry, they keep the market relatively up. And then once into the new year, we get that final flush out. That wouldn't surprise me. So anyway. Okay. Big part of what we're supposed to be doing here today, of course, is taking your viewer requests. Paul just went out for a smoke, so if anything, he's back now. So let's start looking at a few charts and taking requests and knocking these things out. Well, What do you think, Paul? Do you want to chart tonight these people's requests, or do you want me to? What should we do?
Up to you.
Huh?
Up to you. How do you want?
All right, well, I got the screen up here, so that's fine. If you want to throw in any thoughts you have as we go through names, we can always appreciate your input. Smokes and pancakes. I had some killer trades in it last year. Oh, that's the Filecoin, Adam? Yeah, that looks interesting. I don't think it's a buy just yet, but all right. The Matador is asking what Eddie thinks of Near. So I'm assuming we'll look at this Near versus Tethers. And actually, I'm hearing a lot of FUD about Tether these days, people. So don't be surprised in the new year. We're back into the FUD nonsense on Tether again. It's been a little overdue. We haven't been talking about Tether in a while. Anyway, all right. So there is the Near chart versus Tether over on Binance. You know, if you're one of those guys that likes those W things, I gotta say that's not a bad looking little chart right there. Looks like it's a double bottom breakout from $1.733. 1.733. Let's just put that down there. All right. So there's an interesting level. Also interesting too, we're sort of coming finally back into interestingly enough, somebody stopped the bear last go round. Actually, this actually looks like that Luna chart. And actually, I was really surprised. Sjord came on the call on Tuesday, and he's like, the Luna people, they just keep working away. So, I do like the idea that maybe we should, for the education program, we should change the shitcoin.
Do you want to trade some shitcoins?
Reload zone is actually 78.6 to 88.6. That's not a bad idea. Anyway, so that image right there, you can see clearly a nice looking little bottom through there. And the only reason why I mention that is look where we are. So whoever put the bottom in down here, they basically brought the price right back to that same level. We look at a little bit of TA internals. Obviously bottom end of the range. Looks like there's a bit of upside if this thing gets its act together. It's kind of like that Filecoin and the what are they? Got a couple of the other ones. This Matic and the Sushi. I mean, they're all right down at the bottom end of the range, and they're all trying to turn back up. Because this is a double bottom, we could actually do things like Foggenbombs off of this. So this gives us, boom, there we go. So 2.618 is really just a revisit of this battle zone. And we probably find that historically, let's put a horizontal line on there. That's probably an important level here. You can see how the market kind of head and shouldered it out off of that level. It's also an important pivot there. And it almost looks like it was sort of the ICO peak there, right? But that's probably not a bad short-term objective. It's back into this traffic zone. So whoever sort of said, hey, this is a bull, let's go. They're all trapped in there, so a rally up into that level would actually let them get out. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a bit of selling at that level. 4669, sort of the same logic against these lows. So anybody who thought this was a bottom, market dumped, you had a very quick little window to get out of there. If you missed that, there probably are open orders sitting there to sell there. And then if this thing really can get going, 877s are probably just going to be nothing more than a blast through this high here, right up into this traffic zone. Probably also too, if you're thinking upsides, we could do things like, I teach in the education program. 38.2s is a good sort of first stop target for sort of markets technically. And we have a pretty well-defined market structure top up there. So if we go 38.2s, boom. We're starting to get some interesting confluence up in this area. So, yeah, at least it gives you some price objectives, right? Good old 50% rule. WD GAN, let's say that's sort of your bread and butter. And notice that 877, 50% level, that old traffic area, that's probably a massive brick wall of resistance right up in there. So, the interesting thing is this is like look left. So if we can accept above this level, next stop is up there, like I said, 2.618. 4669 seems to be a play against that low, and then 877 is a play against that high and the 38.2 to 50% levels. So, I don't know whether you could really say this is quote-unquote trending higher. I think right now we're still in sort of dead cat bouncy mode. So we probably dead cat bounce. I mean, if we look at the internals, they're meh. That's probably the best way to describe this. Probably also too, we could use moving averages to try and help you see where short-term resistance comes in. So interesting from a moving average perspective. There's the 13, and actually I used to run trading systems where I would just simply buy the break of the 13 and use the 30 SMA as your profit objective. Notice that that's kind of in that 2.618. We could also, there's the 50 period moving average. So 50 period moving average also is a pretty popular moving average for sort of like profit objectives after this break. So that's, like if I was running a screening system and Sjord and I really need to get off our butts and do this, I would definitely say that, use the 13 EMA cross as a pay attention. Right? And then if you wanted to trade this, of course, this is lower time frame. This is, crypto, so be careful. But if you wanted to trade this, then that was that historical horizontal support and resistance breakout level. And maybe at this point now, you could even start drawing. First off, let's look for Collins pump chaser zone. Notice how that's up against that nice 200 period moving average there. So 38.2s, right? And that would set up a bullish bot setup. So the bot would like to see at least 38.2, but no more than 66. And ideally, because remember I'm chicken by nature, would like to see sort of like one higher low, two higher lows, three higher lows, and then away we go. So, just eyeballing this. Where does the 25 level come in? Yeah, something like that. So, that's probably what I'd want to look for if I was thinking that this thing's bottomed and it's going to spit out trend continuation setups and try and trade this thing going forward. I would say if the Cullen pump chaser zone kind of fails, and that would basically be a failure of this 200 SMA off the lower time frames, then you'd want to think things like reload zones of this smaller range, and probably just a really simple trend line support. Technically, this won't be a bear, again, because this W has confirmed and the market structure's in there. This won't actually be a bear until we break that trend line and then put in market structure on the other side of it over there. Or something along those lines. But the point is this M. So, actually I know like Scott Carney, anybody who follows Scott Carney, I know he likes to just simply use this trend line as his stop, and if you see that bearish structure come in on the fail here, don't even wait for that level to be broken. Just get the hell out there. So I think it'll be a while before this thing actually is pointing back down again. And really any kind of W's, you could make the argument that if you, it's a little bit difficult, but if you got like even W's sort of like here to here, somewhere in there. Yeah. Anyway, I think you guys get the idea. Put you up there. Actually, here, why don't we even go off of that high too? Very fancy. There, and maybe even there. Right, you'd ideally like to see this tag 3 times. That's why I think this one's actually more relevant, because it was. But anyway, we'll look at both of these. Something like that. So do we have any trend line breakouts here? So that was that one. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that looks good. Nice. Look at the fight. Don't take the trade there. Don't take the trade there. Oh, hello. Nice little W on the other side of the trend line. And we're probably heading up to kiss this trend line from this side of the equation. And you probably are going to find, if this does set up trend continuation, we get something along these lines, that you're probably going to get your blast off. Noobs will come in and buy that, but then this damn thing comes along and it works its way back down like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get something along those lines. So it looks to me like actually the trade, if you will, would came in right through there, especially with all those moving averages all crossing bullishly there. So not a bad idea. I mean, you've got bullish market structure. I guess the number one question I would have is, what's the fundamental catalyst? What's the reason that this thing's going to go? And what I found actually happens most of the time in crypto, for whatever it's worth, is that the reasons are actually incredibly simple. So there'll be something like, well, the reason why they're going to pump is because Binance is going to add them to their trading platform. I mean, it's just that simple. It's ridiculous how simple the fundamental drivers are in this. KuCoin is going to add them, and all the Koreans all come just piling in like crazy, So that would be sort of my, what is the reason? What's the fundamental driver here? And unfortunately, I can't speak to that. Paul, do you have any idea about the fundamentals of this thing?
No.
All right, that makes that easy. So can't really comment on fundamentals, but fascinating level that you are interested in. Is this a good example of a nanny nibble? I'm just going to come in and nibble away, and it might take literally the entire course of 23 for me to find wherever the bottom is, but I'm going to shoot for something like a 10x on the other side of this bottom. Absolutely. I mean, the irony of it all is that I guarantee you, somebody write this down. We will be talking in the future about whether this asset can break this trend line and actually become a new bull again. But we should, and like I said, I mean, guarantee whatever the hell that means in crypto, but we should definitely be having that kind of conversation that, well, actually, you better be careful. Don't buy until you see a W on the other side of that trend line way over there. And I mean, look at that. What is that? That's almost 10x higher from where we are now. So are these nanny nibbleable? Absolutely. Is that a trending market? Just keep it really simple. And this is the reason why I really like this commodity trend survey that I now have on the website. I suppose we could probably try and do it for the entire universe going forward. We just got this thing up and running, so now we're just covering sort of the biggest 30 crypto names. If you do want to hunt names that are trending, I think it's a good idea to actually be hunting names that are actually have the moving the moving averages pointing bullishly. This happens to be a nice little table format. But there's no reason any of you can't do this, at any given point in time. So we'll just go remove all drawings. Poof, gone. Change that to a weekly chart. And there is our 30 SMA and 13 EMA. Are they bullish now? No. How do they go bullish? Well, we got to see them cross. So, you've seen a number like Doge, for example. There's the cross. So, bear, we're now a bull. Get in there and hunt bullish setups, and away you go. The Litecoin, same thing. Got to wait for the bull signal. You can see the base is in now. Get in there and hunt lower time frame setups. Away you go. So if you want to try and sharpshoot, all right, fine. On that near, let's take a shot on this daily double bottom. But there's no signs that this thing's actually trending higher yet. It's just a cute little daily double bottom, and if anything, caveat emptor. On a weekly basis, this is what they would call trying to catch a falling knife. You are right up against the old lows, so that is very compelling. Cheap, 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 but it is still very much trending down. So anyway, that's the way that I would answer that one. So I hope you guys enjoyed that summary. I don't know whether I do as good a job as Paul here. But what the hell? Maybe we'll turn this into the Paul show going forward.
No.
Eddie says, near. Doesn't meet my criteria yet. Daily MACD bullish div not confirmed. And RSI not yet through 50 line. Volume bull bear falling asleep. Yeah, good. So Eddie's coming along. Eddie actually would like to try and be sort of a leader in the Little Old Lady portfolio challenge that we got coming up here. So maybe, Eddie, if you'd like, if you're awake now, maybe we have multiple Romanians on this call. Maybe Eddie could do a guest host one day. Cole says, I just bought a shit ton of Elon cum dog tilt moon coins. Wow, there's a misstatement. All right, so Cole's going long Elon. Matador says, near USDT, W in RSI, Willie Stupid, W on daily, $20 a year ago, $1 now. Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, I mean, we're down at the bottom end of the range. I mean, you can see the chart. There's no signs of it trending yet. But it's definitely cheap, and I like cheap. You know me. Andre says, greetings from Finland. Actually, I think this guy.
It doesn't have to be with bitcoins.
I think he was a Norwegian, wasn't he? Anyway. Is it possible to check Hex versus USDT? All right, that's good old Richard Hart, eh? You got any comment on Mr. Hart there, Paul?
No, I don't like him.
Okay.
Not at all.
No, I don't have a comment. Don't like the guy.
No.
All right. Well, anyway, where on earth should we look at this? I guess he is kind of a funny relationship with crypto. Eh? He kind of fights with some people, and he's not really friendly with others. So I guess do we look at this on Polo? Do you look at it on DeFi? BitGet. What the hell is that? I don't even know what the hell that is. Bitfinex. Hey, that's a good old Simon Dixon. Didn't he take over Bitfinex? And his crazy Bitfinex tokens? What I find fascinating is a lot of people new to crypto, especially people wrapped up in that Sam Bankman-Fried guy, they don't even know about things like Bitfinex tokens. Now, basically, Bitfinex went under. And it was a total disaster for a long time. But anyway, so where am I supposed to look at this thing? Who was it that asked me to look at this? This was, where the hell was that? Andre Ricardo. Andre Ricardo, where do you want me to look at this? Andre Ricardo, are you still there? Come on, Andre Ricardo. Hey, there's someone. Someone's making reference to Simon Dixon there. Interesting comment there, London. Oh no, I can't. Where is my Ricardo guy? Anyway. What do you think? Hey, somebody want to help me out here over on YouTube? Where should I be looking at this thing? We'll do Big Get, I guess. I don't know what the hell that is. Trending signals? Still trending down. Wouldn't be enough for me to get too excited about this thing just yet. This is over here. Uniswap has a lot of data. All right, versus USDC. Like that. Oh, look at that. There's that Uniswap. So let's see what that looks like. Ooh, there you go. All right, so this is hopefully what you guys hear. Yeah, Jay, anybody could do it. It's just really, the irony, just look at this image right here. If you had just come in just like a doofus, right, and said, well, that Beamish guy says buy W, so I'm going to go and buy this thing here. And, maybe you didn't even sell any at all. Let's say you were just so damn brilliant, you were able to hit the top of the market. That's 3,700%. What happens if you take $500 times 3,700? That's 1.8 million bucks. So, all I'm saying here is that this is what's coming in front of us. And the cool part about it for all of you is that you know exactly when this event is going to happen. You know exactly when it's going to happen. So nobody has any excuses for not making a bucket load of money here. Nobody. You can't. When this event happens, and we all know that the market's supposed to rally into 25 and the beginning of 26. We all know it. If you don't know it, then maybe you ought to go study a little bit of history of the corn. This thing's ridiculously cliche the way that it acts, and the whole space, to be honest with you. So it's like you don't really have a choice. If you are here to make money from trading, you got to get in there and start accumulating at the bottom ends of ranges, and then when this happens, pay yourself. So anybody can be part of this, Jay. Anybody. And if anything, that's half the reason why we built the site, is we just want everybody to participate, right? Get educated. If anything, while we're down in the bottom in this shit, this is when you got to build your trading plan. This is where you got to educate yourself. So when Paul talks about divergences, and he talks about Willie's stupid, and he talks about reload zones, at least you'll know what the hell he's saying. Frankly speaking, there's a lot of language in this space you've got to get over, and you got to know it, and you have to be comfortable with it. It's a steep learning curve, but make no mistake about it. There will be more bulls like this, and we know exactly when it's going to happen. So nobody has any excuses not to take 500. And, my challenge here is I'm going to take 5,000 this time, and let's see if we can clear 1 million. And I think we can. If anything, we probably could clear several million, doing this. The only problem is it'll cost $1 million for a Subway sandwich. Jerks. Anyway. Okay, so back to our story. Versus this USDC. Still not trending. I mean, the trend is still definitely down. We just made lower highs and lower lows. There's nothing really to do here. And you'll know, I mean, the good part about it, TA-wise, is you will know that this thing is trending higher when you actually see a W on the other side of this trend line. So notice you had a W here, it broke out, but psych, not. I've told you, don't get suckered into buying this. It's a trap, and sure enough, down we go. So, but the good part about it is we are on the other side of this trend line now. So, Richard, you want to go in and put in yourself a nice saucer bottom? You know, it just goes something like this. And we'll see these moving averages start to turn back up. And this stuff writes itself. I mean, it's just so cliche. So, whoever asked that question, looks like we're cheap. You want to be a nanny nibbler, little old lady-er, planting flowers as hers? It's there. It's cheap. Is this actually trending higher yet? No. Still cleaning itself up. And my hunch is, you know, on this move to new lows, the momentum is going to be much weaker. So my hunch is we're probably starting the process of creating bullish divergence in our momentum indicators. And sure enough, there's MACD. You can see the beautiful momentum divergence building. We always like to see RSI Bollinger Band squeezing like this. So energy is building. Willie is nice and stupidly oversold. Yeah, put it all together, it makes perfect sense. Probably the one thing that's going to mark that this thing's off to the races is we actually start to see some buyers come back in earnest. You can see the public participation in these kind of names is almost negligible. It's non-existent right now. There was a really good example of a coin, though, where you can actually see the physical evidence of the 1% coming back to the market. I put the tweet out the other day on it. What the hell was the name of that? It was this thing. KMD. So notice, this is what you want to see that says that, okay, the correction is done and the smart money has come back and they're coming back and buying in size. So can we start to see this kind of action in the OBV indicator? As soon as you start seeing that, then you'll know your hex is ready to go. My hunch is that Richard Hart guy himself will actually telegraph it. My hunch is he will come out and he will be like, all right, it is now time for us to start rocking and rolling again. So probably the easiest thing for you to do is just keep an eye out for Richard himself telling you it's ready for the next round. All right, so hopefully that helps with that hex request, although I didn't see the person. Maybe I'll watch this later on. What time is it? Oh, geez, it's already after 8 o'clock. Okay, Uni. Oh, I know that damn Uni. I bailed on the Uni because I was getting freaked out, but I got a funny feeling this darn thing bottomed right off my stop level. I didn't like the fact that this broke down through this low here. That did not make me feel good at all. So I had bought this, and I kind of bought Uni a bit high here. You can see where the reload zone is. I really should be hunting for W's against 78.6. You heard Paul talking about it earlier tonight. I mean, this is the best level. Are they just sort of screwing with my head here right now by putting in this little W? You can see on this failure of this inverted head and shoulders, I walked away from this trade. And lo and behold, look at what they've done here. And I was humming and hawing about whether I should just go strap this back on and see if I could grab that win. But I think I'm just going to leave this. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fault you if you said, hey, there's a little W there, Brian. I'm going to trade that. I'll take my shot against that W and just live with the results. I wouldn't fault you for it. And again, you know, this is a really good example of little old lady. You know, I got to get Eddie up and running on that and us just put some money to work here, I should be just slowly accumulating this and not being really too concerned about the short-term little ups and downs, and just accumulate it and put it away somewhere. Because my hunch is down against this bottom end of the range. That's probably where this thing's going to bottom. So what a surprise. Here we are. So, yeah. Live by the sword, die by the sword. It is the classic tale of a trader's life. It's kind of funny how that one has kind of made a little bit of a monkey out of me there. Go figure. All right, so let's see. Talking about Hex, and then XPRT. Is that what that says? XPRT. Let's see what the hell you got there. XPRT USDT. And over on, oh yeah, there we go. No, what the hell's all this shit? Oh, is this cripple? XPRT. XRP. What the fuck? I don't know what you're looking at here. Should we go look at Howdy? KuCoin. Oh, there you go. It's called Persistence. I'm not quite sure what this is. Never heard of it before. Jeez. Wow. Ooh-wee. Look at that, eh? Wow, that's a tough one. I suppose, looks like they goaded everybody into thinking that there was a bottom down here, eh? So what was that? That was 63. They ran it up into the 90s. You only got a 50% return. And then they just broke everybody's hearts. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Tough to say. I mean, please don't infer this as racist, but just understand, KuCoin, dangerous place to play. Very dangerous. The Koreans they're consummate gamblers. So that doesn't really surprise me that something looks like this. I can't obviously comment on the fundamentals. I suppose if Great Del Moody is touting this, I'm sure he probably knows the fundamentals. You can maybe ask him, like, why would I be interested in something like this? I have no idea what the story is. Paul, do you have any idea what this is?
No, I'm a technical guy. I'm just playing levels.
All right.
I see a nice setup. Yeah, I'm interested. Doesn't matter if it's water, if it's something else.
Okay.
It has a chart.
If it has a pulse, Paul's interested.
Yeah.
I suppose one thing that kind of worried me when I saw this is, you notice this is an interesting indicator, the Tom DeMark indicator, and kind of think of Tom DeMark as like a rubber band, right? A rubber band in sort of its natural state, like something like that. You end up stretching the rubber band too far one direction or the other, and it can snap back violently back to its natural state. Looking at oscillators like relative strength index, you can see that in an oscillators type setting. You can use the counting of markets making new clothesline highs, new candle highs. I can't remember the exact script that Tom DeMark goes, but the long and short of it here, when this starts getting to 8s and 9s, it means that the rubber band's getting pretty stretched. So interesting how you had that big rally, 8s and 9s, and then we had to snap right back. So we had the market go straight down, 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 down. There's an 8, so maybe we're gone too far. We're pulling back. This is a little bothersome here that we're at 8s and 9s here. So this is the rubber band getting stretched from there all the way to there, which isn't that much, is it? So a little bit concerning. I don't like to see markets that look like this. If anything, what you probably want to see is, at the very least, just let this thing break out. Get up through the top here. Then, at that point, if we do have some sort of rally, then you draw your reload zones. And if you get nice pullbacks down into reload zones following that big W being confirmed, then you get nice little W's down in there, and away you go. So the fact that we broke through this kilo, that's not a good sign. That's a bad sign. Was this just nothing more than a liquidity hunt? The KuCoin kids kind of fucking each other over. This, if anything, is this image. That, the shitty part about this, folks, is you got to understand that if you're playing in this regulated space, even though all of us watching this broadcast, we all like each other and we're all relatively good people and we don't fuck around and, steal money from each other. But remember, you're dealing with, where the hell is it? All right, I had the picture on here. He's such a handsome bastard. Not. Where is he? Anyway, not this guy. Ironically enough, this guy's just the front man, which is scary, right? And he comes across as like a kind of a, idiot, for lack of a better term, wearing like t-shirt and track pants and stuff to interviews and stuff. But I actually think that he's a patsy. That really the guy driving the bus, and I can't find it as always. But anyway, yeah, okay, down here. The guy driving the bus is this guy. And this is the scary side or face of crypto. Guy Fawkes? Is that what this guy's name is? No, his name's Dan Freeberg. This is the type of guy that would build a gambling site, a poker site, and he actually had software that would let him see your cards. And he would sit there and gamble against you with a completely straight face, but knowing the whole time that he was completely cheating you. And he would have absolutely no problem with it whatsoever. So you got to understand, in crypto, this is really who you're dealing with now. And this is basically the face of Satan right here. Actually, there's a lot of Muslims that believe that this is hell that we're in right now. And assholes like this, and I think Great Del Moody's making reference to this guy, like this is their playground. And you have to understand, this is the people that do, where was our fun little chart? That do this to us. Right? Liquidity hunts, let's fuck them over and then take the market the other direction. They know exactly where your stop loss orders are. And I hate to say it, I think that FTX site was completely and utterly corrupt. I think that they, just like the poker business, they did exactly the same thing where they knew exactly where your orders were. There was blatant evidence, like in the Daily Brief today, I talked a little bit. If you really want to get to know crypto,
I uncovered a fraud worth $4 billion.
I would strongly suggest, number one, just avoid this guy like the fucking plague, because he's cancer. But this guy here, he's trying desperately to hold that Bankman guy to account, because this Bankman guy, especially the way that he's bought all the politicians and all that shit, I mean, he is like literally Satan on earth. And this guy, I admire people like this guy trying desperately to hold these assholes to account. So I'm sorry I went off on that tangent. But just the point being that you have to understand. I mean, I don't know. Richard's a character. I don't know about Richard. But just understand that as Paul said, Paul actually made it really easy. When we're in this phase of the market, it's easy mode. It's actually pretty easy to make money from trading. all you got to do is just ride on the inertia of the market and just follow the volume breakouts, follow the W's, and just get in there and have some fun. It's this part of the market, though, that what ends up happening is most people that make money through all this part of the market, they end up just giving it all right back to those SPMs and, that Freeberg guy and all those dickheads of the world. So just understand that this is the way the capitalist game goes. So, all right, not quite sure how I got off on that tangent. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's see. We're getting well past 8 o'clock, so I should probably try and wind this up a little bit. Is there anything you want to add to all this, Paul, or are you just enjoying Brian going off ranting mindlessly?
Yeah, I like your rant, so it's okay. I'm just listening.
All right, cool. All right, Golden Burke says XPRT. So that was that one that...
yeah, we look at that one.
This is the one that Great Del Moody kind of likes. And now somebody else is saying in the lounge, but I don't know which one to look at here. Yeah, I'm stumped by this. But anyway, well, I guess we'll go back over to KuCoin. All right, wow. Actually, this is interesting. Remember I was talking about volume impetus and how, that KMD, we're seeing a volume pattern that smart money's coming in here. So that's kind of interesting. Weekly chart. We haven't quite got the trending signal here yet. So we're still down. But interesting, that is a powerful OBV div on the weekly charts. Now let's see, is this a volume breakout? That number there is 734. And this is 769. It is 69, dude. Oh, even better. So, I think you got something here, Mr. Del Moody. If anything, this is a really good example that probably into next bull cycle peak, a name like this probably goes like 100x from these levels. You go buy yourself a Maserati with the results. We always say wicks and tails like to be eaten, so those are some pretty damn big wicks. So where are we here? We're now 60 cents. So $6 is 10x right there. I mean, hell, this could be like a Luna. Could it go to $60? That would be 100x. Yeah, it's not outlandish. And the Golden Burke says XPRT is doing network swap. There will be a huge volatility as many do not want to wait for solution for easy transfer. Hence, they will sell coins. That's cool. I'm going to keep your quote in the back of my mind here, Mr. Golden Burks. And we'll keep an eye out on that going forward. I should probably add this to... there it was there, right? That's this one. Yeah, so let's throw in Mr. Golden Burke's comment there too. So that's it. Interesting. Interesting. So hasn't started to trend higher on the weeklies, but this move up here generated a lot of buying interest. So clearly, that OBV div, you even heard from Paul earlier, that OBV div should speak volumes to you. That should actually get your attention. So that's kind of interesting. Eddie, where's Eddie? You should probably add this to your shopping list of the little old lady names to be slowly acquiring, especially with that OBV div like that. That's really powerful. So that's kind of cool. Thank you for that. Suggestion, everybody. And actually, I'm going to do TRIers a favor, and I'm going to throw that chart in the TRI lounge. We'll probably talk about it in the daily brief tomorrow. All right. What do we got here? The longer the channel, the bigger the run. That's right. Yeah. All right. Well, Eddie, that's good patience. You want to wait for a W? It's totally fine. Guy Fawkes was the guy who terrorized the British Parliament on November 5th. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to refer to the V for Vendetta guy. Okay. Is that what this guy's name was? I know Alex, he interviewed him. Like, all I remember of this guy was, I'm not sure if this is the right page. Yeah, all I remember of this guy was Cabbage Coin. Cabbage Coin was his thing, and it was a total fraud. You know, it was an absolute joke. Anyway, okay, I got to keep moving forward here. You guys are hitting us with more symbols. And if anything, this is the time when we should see good-looking names, you know? Okay, so we did the XPRT. RARI. RARI. And this is Rarible USD on Coinbase. That's what you want us looking at? Not bad. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, Cole. You're definitely thinking in the right direction. It's interesting how the moving averages tried to turn back up here, eh? So somebody put in some sort of bottom here. There must have been some sort of sexy news. And then there was like no follow through following the news. Was this just a pump and dump? Be interesting why the story just fell apart there. What do you want us to Kraken? Release the Kraken. Oh, there's one USD. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, same thing. So you can see, I'm not. What was the reason? Was it a pretty good fundamental event? Was there some sort of, hey, we just built a better mousetrap? It's fascinating how there was no follow through here. I'd keep an eye on this. I mean, technically, Eddie, is that not a W that you can work with? So again, it's another interesting example that a year ago it would have been like, you know what, just let this thing settle down. Hopefully you're all seeing this is the process of that saucer bottom. You never know how long these things ultimately are going to take, but it looks like it's saucer bottoming now. And then we could probably just make a really simple conclusion and just say this thing will be trending higher when you see a W on the other side of this trend line. So notice up to the trend line, we snuck through. Now can I please have some sort of W? And I mean, maybe if these lows can hold, maybe the W is actually coming through here. Could be. I don't know whether these lows are going to hold or not. Huge volume. So there was something obviously was huge about this. There's some sort of fundamental driver. But then on that event day, whatever happened there was no follow through at all. So anyway you shake it, I think there's, probably actually resistance is probably that low up to that high. And if we do like a fib going off of whatever these lows are back up to that high, yeah, I wouldn't be, you know what this reminds me of is Bitcoin. Bitcoin did almost exactly the same thing. Where can I show you that? And if we look at the 2020 peak, oh, what a mess. And actually, oh God, where does the time go? This is sort of like, still thinking a little bit lower. But, like right here, this is what I was referring to. Was notice if we did a low to high, good old mountain man, beautiful tag and failure there. But also, too, you could have gone like, say, that high to that low or something along those lines. Pick your poison, low to high to high, whatever. But notice how the market bottoms and then rallies up, kisses that trend line from the underside, hits that mountain man level, and then has to back off. So that's what I think is going to happen on your name here. That low to that high, there's mountain man. So this thing ultimately bottoms, it rallies up, it kisses that trend line, tags mountain man, and then has to back off. That's what I would expect to happen. So, yeah, kind of interesting. The good part about it is, we're now in the part of the market where this investing and making money in this space, if you can just be patient and disciplined, this actually shouldn't be too difficult now. We got out of that trap market that things were just stupidly overbought and it was just a potion for disaster if you bought. We're now back down into, hey, these crypto people are just like every one of us. We're all the same people. And the irony of it all is you go out into the public, hey, you want to buy some crypto? Are you kidding me? I'm never going to buy any of that scam. It's all a scam. It's all a scam. And ironically enough, that is your tell that this stuff actually should be bought. It's so ironic. Anyway. Okay, that is 8:30, so 2.5 hours. I think we'll probably leave it at that for tonight. We're probably going to see a lot of these kind of names coming up here. Paul, you wanted to add something to the equation there?
No.
Okay.
Just trade like a professional. At least try to respect your plan and your setups.
You know what? Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not easy. If you don't know what your plan should look like, how the hell are you supposed to know what your plan should look like? So, you can go the Great Del Moody route, watch about 10,000 hours of the Beamish blabbing away and take some great notes. I think Paul was even passing around your cheat sheet great the other day. You can go that route if you want to, or if you want to save some time, you can pop on over to TRI and hop into our next intake, which I think is in January, and we'll teach you how to build that plan and how to learn how setups are created and what are the key criteria, and of course get you up to speed on all the nomenclature. So. Okay, I think the only other thing we need to do here, we missed Ben again, so I hope this isn't a trend. What do they say? Once is an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times as a trend. So let's hope maybe Ben will be back for next week. Maybe Ben doesn't show up and Eddie takes his spot in the show. Who knows? Man, you never know in this crazy business.
Two Romanians in the same show? I don't know.
What's that?
2 Romanians in the same show? I don't know.
Yeah, then we'll get Z-Ban in here and he'll host it. It'll just be get rid of Brian. It'll be the Romanian crypto show. I don't know what it is about TRI, but we seem to attract you Romanians.
Yep.
So anyway, it is what it is. Okay, so the only thing we should left to do is just update our little fun little matrix. Of course, it's almost laughable how wrong Brian is on a regular basis on this, but what the hell, we're having fun with it. So, what's our Bitcoin quote for today? I think Ben likes to do this at the beginning of the shows, but if we go down to, say, a 2-hour show, I think we've been on for 2.5 hours. So 1, 2, not that much of a difference. We'll take the opening of this bar here because that's what, wait a minute, that's 1,400 hours? No, 6 o'clock. So 1,800 hours. So this opened up at 17,116. All right, let's see what we got here. 17. Oh, looks like it's an uppie. 17,116. Is that what I said? Something like that. So that is an increase of 2.6%. So the yellows carry the day. I guess that's between 1% and 5%, something like that. And Brian was an orangey. Brian was thinking down. It's ironic because if we had done this interview prior to Mr. Powell going a little crazy there, I think I actually would have been pretty close. But I'm officially wrong. And Paul actually is more right than myself with his uber bullish reading. Good thing is, of
Yeah,
course,
but
Paul
I'm
is
I'm like a
consistent.
broken clock. Every week I'm bullish. So
All right. And Ben, oh geez, we didn't even get Ben to report a prediction. Anyway, no big deal. All right, so today is the 30th, isn't it? So that's it for November. In fact, probably some places in the world, where you are, it's already December, right? So, what was the gain here? 684 to 116. 432 bananas. All right, so let me guess. You're going to be bearish this week, aren't you?
me, no, I'll be bullish, but +1 this time.
+1. All right. All right. He's coming back down to earth. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And the Beamish, what the hell's the Beamish going to say going to happen here? And the dominance trying to perk up, eh?
Yeah, we have a W on 4-hour chart on Bitcoin dominance. Confirm
I don't
now.
remember I did a sine wave study here, but oh god, I don't know where the hell I put it. This is supposed to be in my stock portfolio, so let's go over to crypto. Nope, that's not it. Over here? Nope. Darn. Hey, there we go. All right, 7,162. Oh, isn't that interesting? Look at that. So sine wave had down, then we had up. It's interesting that I gave a down vote there. That's a bit odd. 29th. Here we are, the 30th today, so it should have been right there. Huh, isn't that interesting? Yeah, if I just listened to my sine wave, we would have probably had a bullish vote. Next Wednesday. Where's next Wednesday? That's the 7th of December. This is our irrational exuberance window. Interesting how we're up on an upswing here as well. So, what do we say is going to happen here? Dun, dun, dun. I kind of like your idea. Well, let's see. If we go... And go... Oh, that's weird. Oh, there it is. All right. So, there's that one. And then there's that one. That one was quite a bit longer, eh? So, almost twice the length. That one, that's about the same. And paints a low somewhere around the 4th, but then we rally into the 7th. Isn't that interesting? It's a tough one, eh? Could be really a coin toss. I'll go, I know it sounds awfully banal and kind of unoriginal, but I think I'm going to join Paul, and I'm going to say the market should be slightly higher than where we are. But we'll see how it goes. So, and maybe if we're lucky, Ben will give us a vote if he's back in town. I know he's got a lot of family in town right now. So, okay, I think we'll probably leave it at that. 8:30, so that's about good 2.5 hours. Paul gave you a great summary of what he's seeing in the market. If I'm not mistaken, I think Paul's even given big likes to... yeah, there's Paul's Crypto Trader Arena. We really need to promote this a bit more on the site here. So there is interesting CTA. Technically in the investment industry, you're not allowed to use that.
Why not?
Because it stands for Commodity Trading Advisor. That's actually a specific job role on Wall Street, CTA. But you're in Romania. Who gives a fuck
Yeah,
about the Americans?
exactly.
So, Crypto Traders Arena. This is a great job.
Now I have to put some on my Discord. Some guys started to post day trades on Forex.
Oh boy! So they're already trying to corrupt
Yeah,
you.
but they want to be funded traders. So I have a couple of guys. They pass the exams. Another one get the first level. Now he just has to confirm the second one and will be a funded trader.
Okay, you mean things like at prop firms?
Yeah.
Right. So CTA, Commodity Trading Advisor, that would be through like the I don't even know where. I think it's through the Chartered Market Technicians Association. Slightly different. That would be more like Wall Street. But all right. Anyway, that's here nor there. All right. So I suppose closing look. I think the breadth indicator for crypto is still pointing up. Let's go see. Yeah. So I mean, interestingly enough, TRI's proprietary model has suggested that the market would be uppy since mid-November. On balance has been correct, and it'll be interesting to see what this looks like if it does roll over. For the time being, still pointed up. So I think on balance, up still seems to be the way to go with crypto. Stocks, I'm still left scratching my head. They were looking really dangerous, and the bond market was looking really dangerous. But then Mr. Powell came out and changed everything here today. So probably a really good example. You don't really want to fight the Fed. And as Paul is kind of saying, you have those big sort of macro events, Greenspan. Powell speaking in front of the Brookings Institute, taking questions. Probably best to hop off on the sidelines. Because I don't know whether you saw in the stock market, I mean, it was a violent reaction. If you got caught going the wrong way in that, you got slammed. It was just violent. So, all right. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. PMA for the win. Thank you very much, Paul, for your participation tonight. All the best hugs and kisses to Ben and his fam. And the only thing I would ask is everybody say a silent karmic best wishes for Liam. As I will go and give him a full tour of the Lower Mainland tomorrow. All right, so have yourselves a great day. All the best. Paul, do you want to take us out of here? I don't know. The only thing left for us to say is...
Bye for now.